Recorded live right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's Larry's Rants, Raves, and Reviews. Now here is Larry.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. We think we've got a good one for you tonight.
Yeah.
And, Randy, we're going to get right into it. We're going to start out with a video here from Speaker Mike Johnson. And this is going to kind of set up a little bit. Well, it's going to set up the show. So let's roll that.
Okay, all right. We'll bring it up here.
The Democratic Party has no identified leader. They have no vision. Their platform has been soundly rejected by the American people.
This new track they've taken, the new strategy where they just scream and shout.
Shut down the city! We are at war!
You get your musty hands off of our money or go to Moscow! You musty moo.
We have to fight this in the courts. We have to fight this in the Congress. We have to fight this in the streets.
In the street.
See increasing profanity.
We have Trump!
The number one issue we have against these.
The chair now directs the sergeant at arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
That was the first time that any member of Congress has ever had to be removed in the middle of a presidential address, and it's shameful. The Democrats couldn't even stand for the Americans that President Trump was recognizing in a gallery. It was really a sad thing.
His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, but in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer.
Well, I thought y'all would enjoy that. I ran across that video, and it speaks volume about the crazy Democrats that are out here.
Good grief.
You know, Mike Johnson, Speaker Johnson, he truly is true. It says, you know, he said they have no leadership.
No.
They have no leader whatsoever.
No.
And the vision that they do have is pretty horrible. All they've got is the old stale DEI, anti-American, corruption,
Right.
perversion. You know, like he said, scream, shout, curse, vile profanities.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember ever growing up hearing a senator or a congressman or even a politician that uses the language that they use.
I know.
I don't use that.
No.
You know, and if you walked up to James, my grandson, he would tell you, you know, I taught him, I said, James, I've always been taught this, that someone that has to cuss a lot has a lack of intelligence.
Right.
Because of their limited vocabulary. Mm-hmm. And I guess I've told him that enough that actually he quoted it back to me the other day. He heard somebody cuss, and he looks at me and he goes, lack of intelligence. I said, well, you're exactly right.
Larry, I think you know, we'd always talked about a third party.
Yeah.
I think the half-sane Democrats are going to have to come up with another party to leave, and not unless they want to all go down this road.
I'm kind of looking at you
know what I'm
like
saying?
deer in headlights because I don't know where the half-sane part is. Because
Yeah. Well, it's the ones that aren't saying anything, that are just quiet, and they're probably just sitting back like, what can we do?
Yeah.
What
yeah.
can we do?
Well,
Well, you can just, you know, start another party and go from there.
Or step up and be a leader within that party.
Well,
You know.
yeah.
And that's the problem.
That's the deal.
Is they're all screaming and vying for that spot, correct?
Right. Yeah.
And only the insane ones are the ones that's out there screaming and doing it all.
Right. Right.
So, you know, they have no decency, no morals. They don't have a moral compass with, you know, it's been broken for years. And there's just no real leader within the Democratic Party. And it's really odd to me to see how the Democratic Party has imploded after the 2024 election, Randy.
I know.
I mean, it
really
just imploded.
has.
It really
has.
did. And I think that a lot of it has to do with their followers felt like we've got a handle on this, and we stole the 2020 election, and we're going to steal this one.
Yeah.
Okay? We can run Commie Law and Tampon Tim, and we're still going to win, you know. And but then they figured out it was really too big to rig, and that's when it imploded.
Well, look at who's leading it. I mean, it's leading it. You got AOC.
Yeah.
And then you got Bernie Sanders. They're the highest ones up there.
They're out there stumping along with Tim Walz and doing his
Yeah.
weirdness, whatever that is, you know. And like, as you said, AOC and Bernie Sanders is out there, you know.
They're supposed to be leading the pack on the numbers.
Well, they're worshiping their god of socialism.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what they're all about.
It really is.
You know, and so really, and you go back and you take a look at, you know, you look at Hillary, you look at Hussein, you look at Pelosi. They all have just jumped ship. I mean, they're jumping like rats off the ship because they're afraid and scared to death of what Doge is really uncovering. Yeah, and I think that's why they're keeping quiet.
I know. Wait till the end of the show.
You know, the thought, yeah.
You got it coming, guys.
Well, you know, the thought.
How to play it now.
There you go. The thought of, the thought occurred to me, you know, back when Pelosi, you know, supposedly broke her knee or leg or something, you know, overseas. And I predicted she'll never come back.
Oh, yeah.
I
remember that.
Yeah, I figured that Paul was going to jump up and start, you know, getting all the liquid assets that he could, and that she'd never come back because she didn't want to be prosecuted.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I will plead wrong to that one. But
just one out of
that's it. Well, you know, we still have the crazy Maxine out in California. We've got a nice video of her. Let's show that, Randy. It's only a 40-second clip, but it's a good one.
All right.
When he talks about birthrights, and he's going to undo the fact that the Constitution allows those who are born here, even if the parents are undocumented, they have a right to stay in America. If he wants to start looking so closely to find those who were born here and their parents were undocumented, maybe he ought to first look at Melania. We don't know whether or not her parents were documented, and maybe we'd better just take a look.
My goodness.
I mean, that woman's been crazy the entire time that she's been in office. And, you know, it's harder to be crazier than Maxine because she's just willing to say anything.
Right.
Anything at all, which is normally a lie, but it's always weird and insane.
Sure it is.
I mean, she's just crazy. You know, and Maxine's gotten by with it for years because of race and gender. I mean, no one in the legacy media wants to call out a black woman.
No. Maybe age, too.
Oh, yeah.
It might be age. Isn't she one of the ones that's 130 that's getting the Social Security?
I wouldn't doubt it. But this is the lunatic California Congressman Maxine Waters. She was addressing an anti-Trump rally in Los Angeles. And yet Melania, I've got some reports here. Melania arrived in the United States in 1996 on a visitor visa and worked to get her series of legal work visas and then became a citizen. You know, and she knows all of this, but yet she's willing to just spread a few lies, you know. And so, I mean, she's just as fruity as can be. Yeah. Nuttier than a fruitcake.
Well, it's just like the guy said on the first video that, you know, that they don't want them getting us our money.
Yeah.
Getting our money.
Sure. Right. Right.
Just wait.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I've got to say that it's harder to be dumber than Maxine Waters, but she's got one from Texas that's vying for her spot.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Her name is Jasmine Crockett. She's trying to dethrone AOC and Maxine as the dumbest representative in the Democratic Party, and she's doing a pretty good job. So let's take a listen to Jasmine Crockett here on this one.
Okay. Well,
Listen, I am definitely of the opinion, excuse me, that we should have some DEI hires in this administration. You know, the ones that definitely earned it. Because clearly we've got a bunch of incompetent fools that are trying to run our country. And actually they are running our country. They're running it straight into the ground. The fact that you literally are going to plan enemy attacks on a signal chat and then you don't even know who's in the signal chat. And then y'all want to come at us and act like people of color are the problem or that women are the problem. Like, baby, you probably need a good black woman in the room who can check you and tell you that, first of all, you shouldn't be doing this shit on Signal or anything else.
Well, she loves to play the race card.
Yeah.
She is a racist. I don't care how you slice it. Jasmine Crockett is a racist. In this video, she's simply saying that black women are smarter than white women or any other race.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what she's saying. So if you're not a black woman, she looks down her nose at you and thinks that you're dumb.
Right, right.
Then she's so stupid to say, we need DEI hires that's earned it. Really? I don't know if she even knows the definition
Probably
of
not.
what she's talking about.
No.
So in this video, she refers to blame being placed on people of color and women being the problem.
Uh-huh.
Randy, have you heard any of that?
No.
Have you heard anybody point and say, here's the problem? You know, a woman or a black person? I don't know of anybody that's accused her of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she brings up this thing about Signal, which is an encrypted texting program. Have you ever used Signal?
I haven't, no. Have you?
Yeah, I actually have. I've still got it on my phone. There's a couple of people that I know that I've done some work with that they will not allow me to text them, you know, just pick up my iPhone and do a common text.
Right.
It has to be through Signal. Yeah, it has to be.
Did you get any intelligence last week on the raid or anything like that? Did they send you? I think you were on the list, weren't you?
Well, no,
you weren't?
I didn't get on the list. But I will tell you, I've listened to some podcasts about this issue because people kept bringing it up to me saying, what do you think? What do you think? And I'm like, I don't know. I haven't really paid any attention to that. So I decided over the weekend I'm going to pay some attention to it. Once again, we drove to Dallas this weekend.
Right. Sure.
I think that's our fourth or fifth weekend. Carol told me, she said, don't expect me to go anywhere. I don't expect her to leave the apartment, you know, anytime this weekend. I mean, she was at work today for an hour and said, I'm bored, I'm going home. I'm like, why'd you even get out of bed? But what Signal is, it's kind of like your testing program that comes with your iPhone or any other, but it's encrypted, okay? Now, I was introduced to this by a computer guy that I needed some computer work done, and he didn't have time to do it. He said, but I got a buddy in Colorado that can do this for you.
Yeah.
Okay? And he said, now, Larry, I just got to tell you that he's a lot like you and a lot like me, but the only way you're going to communicate with him is through Signal. And I said, what in the world is that?
Really? What is it?
Okay.
That's the first I heard of it was 2 weeks ago.
He said it is an encrypted text program. Now, in this text that went out, okay, there were no places or locations that were mentioned, okay? There were no battle plans of any kind that was mentioned. There were no secrets within this text, and there was no classified information. Now, the liberal media and the liberal communists that's out here,
blowing it up.
They're blowing it up. They're wanting resignations. They want Trump to fire everybody, blah, blah, blah. But the problem of it is there was truly nothing in any of this. Now, this program, what a lot of people don't understand, this Signal program was placed on about 100 laptops and about 100 cell phones during the Biden administration. Okay? And Trump's people just inherited these. And, you know, I don't know that they even thought about, should we go through and wipe these clean and start all over, you know, that kind of a thing. But they should have.
Yeah.
Obviously. Because you cannot trust anything that you inherited from the Biden administration or from this evil government.
Right.
So the program was on these laptops. They were on the cell phones. Signal is approved for government use. Now, everyone in the world knows that you cannot put any kind of classified information on there, but it had nothing, okay? Now, what I understand is that what people will do trying to get involved with the Signal, if they send you and say, hey, this is, Larry Buttram, and I'd like to, I'd like to communicate with you on Signal.
Right.
If you approve that and put it into that address book, in the encrypted address book, if they don't double check, it could be Randy sending that, because Randy wants to get on that to get my text messages.
Okay.
Okay. So what they really think is that someone either put this reporter in all of these address books, or he said, hey, I'm so-and-so, and somebody just said, okay, and accepted it and put it in there.
Right.
And so that is, they send out fake invitations, and that way they get the opportunity to get in your address book, and that's when you begin to have the problems.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say this wasn't a problem, because it was. Because what they did is somehow this guy got in the address book within Signal, and then people begin to sabotage you. Was this a mistake? Yes. Was it a security breach? Absolutely not. Was it a small, minor mistake, a hiccup? Yes. Is it any big deal? Absolutely not.
Did it affect any of the outcome?
No. And that's the real bottom line that nobody wants to talk about, nobody wants to accept, particularly the liberals, is that all of these missions went off absolutely with perfection.
Mm-hmm.
And all this was we were bombing, and I forget the name of the people. They're kind of like pirates, that they will bomb ships and different things. And I guess we went over there and just brutally blew them apart.
We went over there and cleaned house.
Yeah, we did. Mm-hmm. And it needed to be done for years. But Biden was in his coma.
No.
And the people running the administration certainly wouldn't do anything.
It probably was them.
So Jasmine Crockett knows this, but she's just the new Maxine Waters that wants to interrupt things and make things really horrible.
Right.
So I just wanted to show that, and it brings up that fact of Signal that we wanted to address on this particular show.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, let's go to a commercial break, and then, folks, we'll be back with more.
All right.
Bobby's Country Cooking. It's like Sunday after church at Grandma's, except it's Monday through Friday, 10:30 till 2. Home-style cooking with generous portions, entrees, sides, and desserts to die for. Dine in or get it to go. We're in the West Chase Plaza at the corner of Shackelford and Markham. Bobby's Country Cooking.
All right, folks, we're back. Well, this seems like it's going to be the Jasmine Crockett podcast.
She's got, you got a few up on there.
Well, she seems to be the new Maxine Waters, just the new crazy.
I think so.
We're going to use her all we possibly can. Let's roll this one, and then we'll talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
Close with Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York. Some of your fellow House Democrats say, and not just progressives, by the way, we've heard that moderates have said this too, that they're ready to support her to challenge Chuck Schumer in a Democratic primary. Would you get behind that?
That's 4 years from now. If you were asking me at least in 2 years, then I would have an absolute answer. But I can tell you that there are a lot of people that are watching his leadership in this moment. This is the moment. We don't even know what elections will look like in 4 years, if we will have elections. And so I definitely think that younger, fresher leadership may be something that many of us, not just depending on what part of the spectrum you're on, but many Americans may be looking for, especially in the state of New York.
How to take on the Republicans is a big topic of discussion among Democrats. Last week, you were one.
Okay, there you go. Now, the first thing that pops off of that video for me, Randy, is fear-mongering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it seems to be a virtue of Jasmine's, okay? Right. You notice what she said, what elections look like.
Mm-hmm.
And then the biggest word there was, if we will have elections.
I didn't catch that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, go back and off there or listen to that. Well, I'd give you an answer, but that's 2 years out. I don't know what elections will look like if we will have elections. So her fear-mongering is just really overwhelming. You know, she likes to put a lot of fear in people's hearts. That's what these liberals do.
Yeah.
Okay. It gives them the opportunity to control you, is what it really is. So then the last thing that this guy from CNN says, well, the question now is how do we take on Republicans? How do you take on the Republicans? Well, here is, if you'll roll video number 5, it's only a 27-second video, but here is Jasmine's answer.
Democrats have never endorsed political violence.
I think you're okay with you okay with punching. Like, it's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard.
On March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
That's her answer. Her answer is punch.
Right.
Her answer is fight. Her answer is knock over the head. Now, she was talking about Ted Cruz at that point. And what did she say? Knock him over the head hard.
Mm-hmm.
You heard that, right? And then, it's my birthday. I want to take down Elon Musk.
Of course. Everybody wants to
take him down. You know,
he's taking their money away, Larry.
Yeah,
he's taking their money away.
He sure is. He sure is.
Hey, you remember way back, our phrase has always been follow the money.
Yep.
Follow the money, follow the money. Guess what he's doing, man?
He is following it.
He's following
and they're puckered up. They're absolutely scared
puckered.
to death.
I know it.
They're scared to death. But the thing of it is, she's advocating violence. She's encouraging violence. And she's putting people's lives in jeopardy by her words and by her actions. Now, she says all this crazy stuff and then starts telling lies. Roll video 6, and we're going to show you here what her
I'll
lies
make sure
really
that I
are.
keep it short, but I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with, on March 29th, it's my birthday.
Okay, we're going to do an edit here. Let me see if I can get this to go right. Okay, double click it and it went there. Now let me back it up. Okay, it's there. We'll go to the 4-shot, 3-shot here. She's up.
I'll make sure that I keep it short, but I am truly here for very selfish reasons. Starting with, on March 29th, it's my birthday. And all I want to see happen on my birthday is for Elon to be taken down. Yes.
Good grief.
Now, folks, you're witnessing insanity, but, you know, the thing of it is, yes, she wants him taken down. She's advocating violence. Am I right or wrong?
I think so. I don't see how you could. I mean, that's it.
Okay, I got a couple of questions. You know, I love to ask questions. I always have.
Just as long as I don't have to answer them.
Well, you know, sometimes you look at me like deer in headlights, but you know, have you noticed that the liberals care so much about the environment that they now hate electric cars?
Oh, yeah. Well, look what they're doing.
Oh, my
There's
God.
Car key in them and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that you would, my second question is, did you ever think that you'd see President Trump buying a Tesla, showing it off on the White House lawn, and then later in the same newscast, you would see the liberals burning all the Teslas?
Well, it was, wasn't it? Was it the same day?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, absolutely. They have these protests, as they call them. I call it organized terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I say that they're organized, extremely organized, In fact, they just uncovered, I found a couple of things right before we came on the air, a lady that is organizing these all over the United States.
Mm-hmm.
They're organized. They're being funded, okay?
Right.
Now, that reeks of George Soros to me.
Right.
Okay, he's got all the money.
Yep.
It's also being celebrated. Now, here's the question. The reason I call it organized terrorism, have you heard any Democrat condemning this Tesla violence?
Nope.
Any of them?
Nope.
Not one has come on the air. Not one has gone to social media. Not one has gone on any newscast and said, this kind of stuff has to stop.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't cover it if they did.
It's just amazing to me that this kind of thing is happening in America. You know, here's the difference between us conservatives and the liberals. You know, when we want to protest, you just quit buying the beer, right?
Right.
When Bud Light pulled their stunt,
I remember. Yep.
all the people quit buying the beer.
Yep.
We didn't go burn the store. We didn't burn down, Anheuser-Busch's factories or distribution centers, or we didn't chase their trucks down the road and bomb them.
Trucks, right?
We didn't do any of that. Well, I don't have time for that. I got a life. I've got a job. But yet you witness some of these crazy people, and they just turn to violence. They really do.
They don't know any difference.
Well, let's watch one more Jasmine Crockett video. That video number 7 over there.
7.
Let's play that.
As it relates to X, he has never made a profit since he bought X. In fact, the value of X is 75% lower than it has ever been. So if I am going to go look for somebody to run a business, I'm going to look for someone who is going to run one successfully. And before people start screaming and yelling about, well, he's a billionaire. Yeah, when you know the right people and they'll just give you money, then you can become a billionaire too. And maybe one day all of us will have that kind of access. But until
there is so much to talk about that little 40-second video right there. She's basically saying that Elon is dumb.
Yeah.
Elon's a bad businessman.
He didn't buy X for the money.
No.
He didn't buy. He bought X so he could have the voice.
I totally agree. What did you say before on another podcast? That he bought back free speech.
Yeah, he did.
He really did. And we need to send him a thank you note for that.
Right.
When I want news, when I want to know what's really going on, the first place I go to is X.
You go to X, I go to TikTok.
Yeah, I know.
But see, I got to buy about 5 things. I've got it to where I can hit one button and it's on my doorstep.
I go to X.
I bought Luke something just the other day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Luke, your grandson, finally got something off of there, huh?
Uh-huh.
All right, well, here's something big, folks. Don't let this pass. It could have went right over your head. But in this video, this is really big. Jasmine Crockett shows her entitlement mentality. She shows her entitlement mentality. Did you hear her say, if you know people with money, they'll give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, and then she goes on to say, maybe all of us can have access to that money one day. Well, guess what? Jasmine has access to the money. She's in Congress. She works for the U.S. government, which is the biggest money laundering machine that's ever been formed.
It is right now.
I'll tell you what, I'm so thrilled that Doge is uncovering everything because I don't look half as crazy.
I can't wait till next week's show.
Well, Randy, I got to tell you, man, when we first started doing this podcast, I came up with stuff and people were like, oh my God, you really said that on the air? You're going to say that? Don't say that. Please don't say that. Don't say that in public.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, Doge is bringing all this stuff. We uncovered a lot of this stuff before Elon Musk was on there saying all of his nonsense.
No, they were just watching our show.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. They got the ideas from us. We're two old crazy farts from Little Rock, Arkansas that we get on here and say what we want when
And they
we want.
listen.
And they listen.
Especially if you got that hotline to the White House right there.
That's right. That is right. So in other words, she's like saying, Elon, he didn't work. He didn't build his wealth. What kind of craziness? This is what I would say about her. She's so stupid and woke, she can say anything that she wants, expecting people to believe it.
Right.
So when I compare her to Maxine Waters, am I right or wrong?
That's probably a compliment.
I'm pretty accurate. Yeah, and the real problem, Randy, is this is not really a stupid individual. Yeah. This is a person who went to private schools, got an elite education.
Okay.
And went to college to a very private and high-class school.
Uh-huh.
She hasn't started talking like this ghetto stuff until just recently. Because she's playing to the crowd.
Yeah, she's found her following.
She really has. And that's exactly, thank you for saying that, because that's exactly what she's doing.
Sure.
She is building her following by sounding so ghetto.
Right, right.
She didn't sound like this. If you go back.
Yeah, I saw some comparisons on the video one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd like to actually see that. What I would also say is, I think she now speaks and then thinks. And a lot of people have that habit, Maxine Waters.
A lot of them on those previous videos did.
But I will tell you this. If her statement about X being 75%, down.
Yeah.
I think we really need to say thank you to Elon Musk for buying back free speech. I really do. Well, folks, if you think that these videos are crazy, wait until you see the next one. You'll have to come back after this commercial break, and then we'll come back and show you one that'll really take the cake.
When your event is catered by Bobby's Country Cooking, it's like coming home to eat. And Bobby's makes it easy. 224-9500 for the best home-style catering available with desserts to die for. The food you love for your next gathering. Bobby's Country Cooking, Little Rock.
All right, folks, we're back, and I promised you crazy. If you think that Jasmine Crockett is crazy, wait until you hear this one. Randy,
oh my goodness.
Here's video 8 of the show.
Because we in these hot ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey. So yes.
My take on that is, here she is speaking as ghetto as possible, and she starts mocking and making fun of a handicapped person.
That's it. Yeah.
Never in my life have I ever wanted to stoop so low. You could be my worst enemy, but I would not mock you over being handicapped.
Yeah, well, they can get away with it.
Apparently,
that's the way they do it.
Well,
we can't, but they can.
Well, there's definitely two standards in this world.
Sure, there is.
Okay, there's us common folks,
right,
and then there's those that reign above us in Congress and Senate and in government. They look down their nose at us. This woman is dumber than a bag of rocks. I don't know why she's taking her career this way. And you notice how smart she really is. She gets into all of that mess, and you can tell she's flying by the seat of her pants. And then you hear this, yes, yes, yes. Obviously, Randy, there's nothing of substance that she wants to say. All there is weirdness.
Right.
And I would honestly call this a vicious attack on a handicapped person.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's horrible. I really do. And yet, who's calling her out? There's no leadership in the Democrat Party that is berating her for this kind of stuff.
Larry, I'm going to tell you, this show, you won't see all this kind of stuff on the news.
No. No.
And if you want to hunt and peck around on it and dig and all this stuff and spend the time, you can find it.
Yeah.
Or you can watch the show.
That's right.
We're showing it to you right here.
Exactly.
You know?
And this would be a good show while we're on that spot. This would be a good show for you to like, subscribe, to share it. Tell every family member, every friend you've got, let them know that you're watching this podcast, listening to this podcast, and this is something that these guys, I got to tell you, we kind of know what we're talking about, folks.
A little bit.
Well, a little bit.
I know it. If we can get the videos to play.
Well,
if we don't, we'll edit them in there.
That's your problem.
I know.
Not mine.
Hey, I'm still learning. You know, I ain't got no raise yet.
Right. All right. Okay. Hey, here is Governor. Now, she was talking about Governor Greg Abbott. Now, this is his response to the Hot Wheels.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. Let's take a look at this because he's a class act.
An accident at 26 and you were jogging and you had a very severe injury, and yes, you are in a wheelchair, and I've gotten to know you. You're a personal friend of mine. I take it personally when friends of mine are attacked viciously for no reason, and there's no way in hell that this woman and her ex-post is going to convince me she meant anything other than what we all believe it to be. Your reaction?
Well, Sean, is another day and another disaster by the Democrats. The reality is they have no vision, no policy. They have nothing to sell but hate. And Americans are not buying it. It's one reason why Texas is going to remain red and why Republicans are going to continue to win elections across the country. The fact, Sean, is that Texas is actually in direct contrast to what she was talking about. Texas has ranked #1 for the most new jobs in America over the past month. #1 for the most new jobs over the past year and for several years. Texas ranks #1 for the most new economic development projects for 13 years in a row. CEOs who run businesses have ranked Texas the best state for doing business for 20 years in a row. And Texas is in the vanguard as it concerns the future of the United States, such as space exploration, such as artificial intelligence, such as semiconductors, as well as power generation. The bottom line is that Republican states like Texas are leading the way, and with comments like this by Democrats, we will just leave them in the dust in future elections.
Wow.
You know, that's a class act.
Right.
You know, and they alluded to the fact that he was age 26, and I guess he was out jogging.
Yeah.
And I've heard reports that a tree actually fell on him.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's how he ended up the way he is in the wheelchair.
Huh.
But here's what I will say. I don't think that Governor Greg Abbott is handicapped.
Yeah. No.
I really don't.
No.
Here's what I can say. I believe that Jasmine Crockett is handicapped. She's mentally handicapped for making fun of someone. Now, she's tried her best to walk this back. She refuses to apologize. She goes, "Why would I apologize? I wasn't talking about..."
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. She was. This is exactly what she's doing, and she tried to talk it back, folks, and we will not allow her. Matter of fact, I believe the other day I heard a video about President Trump, and he said, she's just a lowlife.
Yeah.
She really is just a lowlife. And so to make fun of a handicapped person and to call for the violence that she has, hitting them over the heads, hitting them hard, all of this stuff. So I want to show one more video here, Randy. Video 10. This is Pam Bondi and her warning to her. And I think this is a pretty classy thing right here.
Oh, okay.
Mean violence. But, however, your words have consequences. And what happened after she said that about Elon Musk, she's a Texan in her own home state. After she said that, this morning, 3 explosive devices were found in Austin, Texas. So she needs to unequivocally denounce the violence. She must apologize immediately, not only to all Texans, but to our country, to the American shareholders of Tesla, because she is promoting violence. And then you showed the clip of what she said about Senator Cruz. I believe she probably will be censured by Congress for saying that. You know, people don't learn. She's using her public persona, her public platform to increase her followers, to increase her significance, and she is threatening lives, safety. You know, when she did this at Tesla, Sean, people's lives are in danger. This is America. We're in a free country. And she's yet encouraging this violence in our country. Think of all the lives that could have been jeopardized in Texas just today by her words and what she's done. But she didn't stop with that. She continued on with Senator Cruz. She has to apologize immediately and denounce the violence.
Wow.
Yeah, I like what she said there. Your words have consequences. And I will tell you, Randy, that, you know, the Bible says that death and life are in the power of the tongue.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that scripture, but this is exactly what that scripture is talking about. She is speaking a lot of death. She's speaking a lot of violence into people's lives. This thought occurred to me while we were sitting there watching this. What if I found Jasmine Crockett's home address there in Texas?
Right.
Let's pretend I find it.
Okay.
And I think I can. And let's say, folks, you need to go and take her down.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go and protest and make it hot.
Right. You'd be in trouble.
What am I saying? First of all, go take her down. Does that mean go shoot her?
Mm-hmm.
If I say go make it hot, does that mean burn her house to the ground while she's in it?
Take it to the street.
Take it to the street? Yeah. What if I say that? If I said that on this podcast and put it out there, I bet FBI, CIA, ABC, NBC, any of them would be all over me.
Yeah.
But yet, due to the double standard, she can get on here and say whatever she wants.
Right.
But I will tell you, folks, I consider her to be a cancer to society, an embarrassment to America. I think she's a joke to the world. The world has to be standing back, looking at our politicians right now and laughing their butts off.
Of course they are.
This is certainly an error that was made in Texas, and it's time for her to get voted out of office.
Yeah.
You know, if Jasmine Crockett, Maxine Waters, the Clintons, Pelosi, if any of them, if any of those that I just named, if you don't believe in term limits by now, I don't know that you ever will.
Uh-huh.
And speaking of term limits, folks, if you're watching video, take a look at the T-shirts that Randy and I are sporting today. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. It says Larry's Rants, Raves, and Reviews podcast. It has our logo on it. And then it has America's Only Hope. And then along the side, it says term limits, federal, state, and local, 4 years, 2 terms. And it's got all of that on the front and the back. These are pretty good looking shirts, aren't they?
Sure they
Andy?
are, yeah.
Well, we make them look good.
Yeah. Yeah, it fits good.
So, folks, we're not wanting to sell you anything.
Nope.
But we are wanting to give you something. And we've invested thousands of dollars in quite a few of these shirts. Okay, we just got them in last Friday, I believe they came in. And so we wanted to wear them, put them on this podcast. If you want a free T-shirt. Free.
Cool.
Including shipping, Randy.
There you go.
We've paid for the T-shirt. We're going to pay for the shipping.
I got my free one.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Okay. Here's how you get it. All I need is an email from you to get involved in this free T-shirt. Everybody that sends me an email will get one. I need to know what platform you're listening or viewing us on. Just simply put on there, hey, Larry, I listened to you on Spotify, on Apple, whatever one that you're listening to. Or, hey, Larry, I'm watching you over on Rumble or YouTube, or I watch you on X. You just put the platform that you're paying attention to us on. I need your name, I need your shipping address, and I need your shirt size. Okay. And we've got small, medium, large, extra large, and 2X. Okay. Cool. So we got a pretty good range of shirts. So just figure out what size you want. Send us an email. My email address is LarrysRRR.com. LarryB@LarrysRRR.com. Send me that email, and I will get you a T-shirt shipped out probably the same day as I get it. I'll get it packaged up and get it out to you.
Cool.
And we're going to do this as long as supplies last.
Yeah.
I don't know, Randy, whether we got 5 listeners or followers or whether we got 5,000. I really don't know. And
we'll just do it till it runs out.
Well, I figure we'll get a bunch of these.
I saw you had a couple of boxes in the in the back of your truck.
Well,
there.
my little old van's just chock full of them. And so we'll do that for you. But get us that email with that information. Send it to me, and as soon as I get it, you can start sporting this shirt around because, folks, I believe term limits are the only way to go.
Yeah.
Well, Randy, you got a little teaser for next week's show that you want to pay attention to?
Yes, we sure do.
Okay.
We're going to go to that teaser, and we're going to watch a little preview of next week, which I'm excited about. Let's go to that right now.
Okay.
Work. Is this working? Yeah, it's on now. Yeah.
There you go. So, Antonio, can you tell us what you Antonio is helping out with the Social Security. So just trying to review Social Security, where you may have heard that we found 20 million dead people marked as alive in the Social Security database. This is so crazy. And then you'll notice there's a strange trend here where how many Social Security numbers were issued. Do you want to?
Yeah, so let me tell you what happened here. We started at the top of the system.
You want to talk about a lot of maybe?
We started at the top of the system, mapping the whole system of Social Security to understand where all the fraud was. And there's a lot of great people there that showed us really a lot of waste. And so that came up with a big list of stuff they're working on. You've heard some of that already. But this is what jumped out at us. When we saw these numbers, we were like, what is this? In 21, you see 270,000 people, goes all the way to 2.1 million in 24. These are non-citizens that are getting Social Security numbers.
Yeah, this is a mind-blowing chart.
Yeah, just this literally blew us away. Like, we went there to find fraud, and we found this by accident. And this isn't political, by the way. My parents are immigrants. Yeah, this country's been great to us. My brother and sister are all born in Spain. I'm pro-legal immigration. This is not political. This is not political. This is about America and the future of America. And there are a lot of good people in the system that pointed us in this direction. I want to honor them right now, that work in the government today, who took risks to show us these numbers and tell us what's going on.
Yeah.
I want to stop for a minute. I want to honor those people today. Very good people. Very good people. I have been from D.C. to Social Security offices to the border to track this down, and very good people have helped us along the way. I want to thank them.
Yeah.
This number, what this is when you come in the country, if you're an illegal, there's a couple ways to come in. You come in through a port of entry, and you can tell them you're afraid, and they'll give you an asylum case. You'll get an interview, then you get in. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to just go to the border. Literally, this happened. I talked to Border Patrol myself. Elon was there too. I went to Laredo, and I went to Bronzeville. Elon went to Eagle Pass. You walk up to a Border Patrol officer, and you tell them you want to come in. They have a couple of choices. They could charge you with a misdemeanor or a felony under 1325, or they can make it an administrative offense, like a parking ticket, basically. They were told to do that, make it an administrative offense under the last administration. And then you go walk across the border. They do what's called a release your own recognizance, and they give you an NTA, a notice to appear, which to appear at a judge. The wait times on judges are like average 6 years. Look at Grok, you'll see it on immigration judges. There's only 700 of them. This is 5.5 million people. Okay? So what happens then? Once you're in the country and you got asylum through one of these pathways, and we mapped the whole thing out, you can apply for a work document. You file a 765, it's the work form. You get this form called the 766, that's the authorization, and then Social Security Administration automatically sends you in the mail your Social Security number. No interview, no ID.
this is worth just reiterating. It's not people sometimes think that under the Biden administration that he was simply asleep at the switch. He wasn't asleep. They weren't asleep at the switch. It was a massive, large-scale program to import as many illegals as possible, ultimately to change the entire voting map of the United States and disenfranchise the American people and make it a permanent, deep blue, one-party state from which there would be no escape.
Look, if I hadn't seen this myself, I'm not sure I'd have believed it. I went through it myself and mapped it, and Elon is right. This is true. The defaults in the system from Social Security to all of the benefit programs have been set to max inclusion, max pay for these people, and minimum collection. That's what's happening. We found 1.3 million of them already on Medicaid, as an example. We've gone through, on every benefit program we went through, we found groups from this particular group of people, this 5.5 million people, in those benefit programs. And then what was really, really disturbing us was why. We're asking ourselves why. Right. And so we actually just took a sample and looked at voter registration records. And we found people here registered to vote in this population, yes.
And who did vote.
And we found some by sampling that actually did vote. And we have referred them to prosecution at the Homeland Security Investigation Service.
Yeah.
Already. That is already happening. Right now. Yeah.
Well, folks, that was just a little teaser of what you can expect next week. But we're going to take this video, and Randy, I think we'll just roll it, and we'll stop it when we want, and we'll just dissect it, and we'll just, everything that they uncover, we'll just talk to everybody.
There's a lot more in that. That was a whole meeting. The meeting was hour and 53 minutes long.
Wouldn't you have loved to have been there live with it?
Yes.
I mean, wouldn't that be great?
Yes.
Well, folks, that's how crazy our government really is. And, we kept saying that all of this was not done by accident. It was on purpose.
Right.
They're trying to take down America as we know it today. And sure enough, they're now figuring out we were right.
Right, I know it.
Well, America wouldn't be in the horrible shape that it's in had we had term limits a long time ago. Hey, be sure and send us that email, get your free t-shirt, and let's get these on the street because we need term limits. Have a good one.